Hello everybody and welcome to the first day of your virtual Advent calendar here at MHA Communities North London. So today I'm going to teach you how to make your own Advent calendar out of natural materials and it will be a sort of thankfulness or a bucket list Advent calendar to count down the days till Christmas. So each day you can write an idea of something you're thankful for, or you could do a photo challenge. A lot of those go around on the internet where they tell you to take photos of Christmassy things in the lead up, which is quite a nice way to document your Christmas journey this year, especially as it may be a little bit different for most of us. You could also do a little bucket list, so it could be ideas about singing a carol, playing a Christmas film, writing a Christmas card, stuff like that. It's just a different way instead of the usual chocolate or sweets. So what we'll do is we'll get started. So I've got a branch, so I went into sort of like the woodland areas or the park and found a branch that had already fallen down. Don't start hacking at any trees, just find one that's already fallen down. I quite like this one because it's got an extra bit of detail to it. But yeah, you just need a rather large stick or branch. The bobblier the better, I think it adds more character to it. I've also got some yarn, but you could use string, you could use twine, anything. I've got a hole punch to do the holes. I've drawn out a template on paper of a star. You can find these online, you can make your own, it's entirely up to you. I've got some brown card because I thought it'd go quite nicely with the stick, add to the natural feel. Oh, the stick. You probably want to leave the stick to dry out a little bit because mine was a bit wet. You'll need some scissors and a pen, and away we go. So what I've done is I've drawn around my template. If you keep it quite close together, you'll be able to get quite a few on there. You don't want to do your stars too big because you need to be conscious as well of the size of your twig, otherwise you won't fit them all on. So I've gone for a sort of smallish star but big enough that I can write my ideas on there. I've already cut out 12, so I'm going to cut the other 12 out, but I've punched holes in the top as well, and that's where we're going to thread the string through. So let's carry on cutting them out. It shouldn't take too long, but you want to make sure it's nice and neat because you don't want any ink on your side facing out. You want to keep it nice and clean. Try and get rid of the card as you can, otherwise you just end up battling against it. Okay, so I've cut my star out, and I'm going to get my hole punch. I'm going to put the tip of the star, I'd say it's probably this one because it's the nice bulkiest one, into my hole punch, sort of figure out where the punch is going to be, get it towards the middle and punch it down. So then I've got it. You don't want it too close to the top, obviously it's going to rip, and you don't want to have it too close to the sides as well. More for aesthetics, that one, but there we go. So we've got one star cut out, another 11 to go. So you're going to need 24 stars in total, one for each day leading up to Christmas from the 1st of December. You can make a smaller Advent calendar if you want, you don't have to go traditional. It's entirely up to you, it's your Advent calendar, so you choose. So it's just a way to get us feeling a bit more festive, because we can't do all the things that we normally do this year. We'd normally be off seeing shows and pantos and bits like that, which I know a few are happening, but we need to keep safe as well, don't we? So you could write things on there that you've been grateful for this year as well. It's a nice idea, to practice a bit of gratefulness and give yourself a bit of perspective for the year. It's not all been doom and gloom, has it? There's been some nice bits too. Okay, so just make sure you've got your holes in there. And add it to the pile. Okay, so I'm just going to finish cutting these all out. So join me again in a second and I'll show you how to finish off and tie it all together. So welcome back. So now I've got all my 24 stars cut out and hole punched and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write on the back now because it'll be a bit easier. So I'm going to write stuff. So I'm going to put the number on the front. So this will be number 1. Write it nice and bold. You might want to use a thicker pen. So this is number 1, star number 1. And I'm going to write sing a Christmas carol. Okay, so sing a Christmas carol. On day 2, I'm going to, what should we do? Have a think of ideas that you want to do. You need 24 ideas or things, or you could mix it up anyway. You could do certain days of gratitude, you could do certain days of the photography challenge, and you could do certain days of little things to do around the house. So on day 2, I'm going to put up Christmas tree. And so on. Okay, so that's to put up the Christmas tree, and I've got my number 2 there. So what we're going to do now is once you've got all of those written on there, you now need your stick and you're going to need your string. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them at different levels because I'm not going to get them all on if I put them on, you know, all in a straight line. So I'm going to cut the string and I'm going to tie it to the tree first because I think that would be easier. So I've just got a long bit of string here. I'm just going to wrap it around the top of the branch and I'm just going to do a little knot in it. Nothing fancy, just very simple. Okay, so now I'm going to put it tight. I might give it a double knot. I don't think that would come undone, but let's give it another knot just in case. Okay, so then I've got, so you can see that's tied on at the top. It'd be kind of nice to have the little bit of string sort of flapping like that as well, but you could cut it down if you wanted it to be really neat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to thread the string through this hole and tie a knot this end too. So there we go, I've got my first star attached. I'll hang it up. So you're going to hang this sort of on your wall. I'll probably take a picture of it after so you can see it in its full glory. But there we go, we've got number 1 attached to our twig. Ooh. Okay, so next one, I'm going to go shorter this time. Let's go right there. I'm going to do the same again, so I'm going to wrap it around the twig quite close together, otherwise I'm not going to get all 24 on. Nope, I always get muddled with my knots. Okay. So for speed this time I'm just going to wrap it once. I'm going to thread that through. You can always cut your string down if you've still cut it a bit too long. So there we go, we've got number 2 as well. Okay, so next we need number 3. So try and keep them sort of close together, not so close that they're sort of hitting each other, but we need to get all 24 on here. That's why it's good to do them at different lengths as well, because you could have some lower than others. have a play around, you know, sort of look into where you want to place them. You could do it at random, you could do it in sort of an arch, it's entirely up to you. We've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got 4 stars on already. Perfect. Okay, so just keep going. Add your stars in at random places. So you can probably see from this angle actually already, this is how it's starting to look. And join me again in a few seconds and I'll show you sort of the finished pieces. See you in a sec. So welcome back everybody, and our advent calendar is complete. So you can see we've got 1 to 24 here. Doesn't it look good? So I'm going to hold it up. You won't be able to see the twig as much, but there we go. So it will twiddle a bit. They're all at different lengths, but I think it will be a very good festive advent calendar because it's a bit different from the norm and it gets you in the festive spirit. So I'll add a little picture at the end so you can see it in its full glory. And if you do make one, don't forget to share with us. You could use some glittery card if you've got it around at home. You could paint them, you could decorate them however you want. Just get creative and think of some good ideas to get you in the festive spirit. See you for the next one very soon. Bye for now.